Ireland, the Emerald Isle, where time seems to stand still, but it is the destination creating the biggest exodus of Americans in 2026. It is not to seek out boring ruins, but to find oneself. This is where furious cliffs roar against the Atlantic Ocean, completely contrasting with the strange warmth inside pubs filled with the scent of barley. A nation where the brutal power of nature has forged a resilient spirit and unconditional hospitality. Close your eyes and imagine you just stepped off a long flight, leaving behind the exhausting chaos of New York or the expensive noise of Los Angeles. You are stepping into a completely different world, where the air tastes like the ocean and silence embraces your soul. This transatlantic flight is not just a vacation, it is a spectacular escape to find a softer life, a safe space where you can truly breathe a sigh of relief. Today, we will begin a journey beyond the usual paths to touch the most hidden corners of this amazing country. From mossy streets keeping secrets of the ages to geological wonders formed by the fury of the earth. Join me in discovering an Ireland beyond imagination. Number 1, the capital city of Dublin. When you think of Dublin, travel guides always urge you to rush straight to the bustling Temple Bar district. But here is a naked truth that experiential travelers need to know. That area is essentially a massive tourist trap designed to empty the dollars from your wallet. There, you will have to squeeze among thousands of strangers, pay an exorbitant price for a pint of beer, and listen to music played repetitively in an industrial way. If you truly want to find the soul of Dublin, turn your back on that noisy crowd. Let your feet lead you a few blocks further towards the historic Liberties neighborhood. Here, the cobblestone streets have no footprints of loud tourist groups. Instead, you will find a genuine slow-paced rhythm of life deeply rooted in tradition. When you push open the oak door and step into a local pub in the Liberties, a completely different world welcomes you. There are no flashy neon lights, no glamorous fakeness. There is only the crackling sound of firewood in the fireplace, the rich aroma of roasted barley, and the deep, warm sounds of friendly conversations. And here is the most important thing, a perfect puzzle piece for those craving a sense of belonging. If you are a person of color or come from any diverse cultural background and have felt tired of scrutinizing looks or unspoken discrimination back home, then Dublin will be a healing embrace for you. In these tiny pubs, the Irish do not care what you look like or where you come from. You will never feel like the center of disrespectful curiosity. You will not be stared at like a strange foreign tourist. Here, all boundaries of skin color or class are erased the moment you step over the threshold. They only care about one thing, whether you are ready to raise a glass and share a good story with them. You will quickly realize you are blending into the crowd in the most natural way, sitting next to carpenters, writers, or ordinary working-class people. They will put an arm around your shoulder, call you a friend, and offer you a dark, wavy pint of stout. That is the power of warm connection of representation, without having to try to prove anything. The atmosphere here is something money cannot buy. It is a feeling of absolute safety, an ultimate comfort, where you are allowed to drop all defensive masks. Americans looking for an escape this year are not just looking for a place with a cheaper cost of living. They are looking for a place where human dignity is respected, where the value of an individual is not measured by a bank account or social prejudices. And Dublin, with its quiet corners and straightforward people, is the perfect answer. In the context of a highly pressured economy, finding a place where you can enjoy a wonderful evening at an incredibly reasonable price is a luxury. At the pubs in the Liberties, a pint of beer costs much less than in the tourist center, but the quality is vastly superior. It is poured from the ancient pumps carrying the pride of a whole generation of brewers. You can sit there for hours, listening to traditional music melodies rising from a corner of the room where local musicians passionately play the fiddle and blow the flute. No one is in a hurry. No one is rushing you to leave. Time here passes the way you want it to. This is not just a stop to drink beer. It is a masterclass in the art of slow living, the art of enjoying every present moment. You begin to realize that moving to another country, pursuing a softer and fulfilling life, is not a fantasy. It can absolutely become a reality, starting from the brave decision to turn off the familiar path. When you raise that smooth, dark pint of beer to your lips, tasting the mild bitterness, blending with the creamy foam, you will understand why thousands of travelers have come here and decided never to buy a return ticket. The soft life you always dreamed of has actually always existed. It is just waiting for you to be brave enough to step out of the narrow paths. Dublin does not show off. It conquers your heart with its raw honesty and open arms, ready to welcome you like an exiled child returning home. Number 2, the Cliffs of Moher. Leaving behind the quiet, mossy streets of Dublin, we will soar across the emerald green fields heading straight for the western coast. Here, the ancient and barren continent is day and night, facing the eternal fury of the ocean. When you stand on the edge of the Cliffs of Moher, you are not just looking at a majestic landscape, you are truly witnessing an endless battle between earth and water that has lasted through millions of years of history. Try to close your eyes and imagine the giant black rock walls standing completely vertical, towering over 700 feet tall, like giant blades, slashing across the gray sky of the North Atlantic. Beneath your feet, deep in the abyss, giant waves are rolling and crashing into the cliff face with a terrifying, destructive power, equivalent to tens of thousands of tons of explosives detonating all at once. The roaring sound of seawater smashing against the boulders echoes in your chest, blending wildly with the cries of thousands of seabirds stubbornly clinging to the precarious crevices. Standing here in front of the brutal greatness of Mother Nature, all the pressure from bills to pay, all the exhaustion of the fast-paced urban life are washed out to sea, becoming strangely meaningless and small. It brings you a feeling of being purified, a complete liberation from the burdens of modern life. But right at this most glorious moment, we must wake up from over-romanticization and face a naked truth that few traditional travel guides dare to tell you directly. The Cliffs of Moher is undoubtedly the greatest natural wonder of this country, and for that very reason, it is the place that attracts the most horrendous crowds. If you follow the outdated advice and make the classic mistake of most tourists, which is getting on a giant bus and arriving here at exactly 12 noon, your magical experience will be completely destroyed. What will you see at this natural wonder? You will face a jam-packed parking lot with hundreds of buses spewing thick smoke. Instead of admiring the vast beauty of the ocean, you will only see the backs of the jackets of thousands of other strange tourists, pushing and fighting for every narrow square meter, just to take a hasty selfie. You will constantly be shoved and bothered by loud shouting, and that sacred, majestic feeling you expected will completely disappear. You will feel like a sheep in an industrial assembly line. That is certainly not how the smart travelers of 2026 enjoy the world. To truly touch the soul of this epic cliff, you need a much wiser and more practical strategy. The first core survival rule is to avoid peak hours at all costs. The absolute golden time for you to set foot on Moher is in the late sunset, when those noisy tour buses have all cleared out and returned to the city. At this time, the entire vast space is left with only you and the sound of the wind whistling through every rock crevice. The late-day sun dyes a brilliant golden color onto the vertical cliffs, turning the entire pitch-black coastline into a mesmerizing fiery painting. The feeling of standing there alone, filling your lungs with the salty air in absolute silence, will be an elevating moment that you can never forget. But if you want to elevate your expedition to a completely different level, more original, more wild, and most importantly, completely free, here is a priceless secret just for you. Never go to the main visitor center area. Instead, start your journey from the peaceful little village of Doolin, located not far away. From here, walk along the coastal trail called the Doolin Cliff Walk. This is an extremely pristine trail, clinging to the precarious cliff edges, cutting through endless green pastures where sheep are slowly grazing in the morning mist. Walking on this trail, you will be fully embraced by Mother Nature at your very own pace. You are not rushed by anyone. You do not have to stand in line for hours to buy a ticket. The atmosphere is so quiet and untouched that you can clearly hear your own heartbeat blending with the rhythm of the ocean, especially if you are a photography enthusiast or bring along a drone to capture memories. This trail is a paradise. Without crowded human heads getting into the frame and ruining the composition, you can freely record spectacular footage, letting your drone fly freely over the white-crested waves, fully capturing the surreal majesty of nature. This absolute freedom, this feeling of fully mastering space and time, is the very core of a true escape. You are not just traveling, you are immersing yourself in the primitive heartbeat of the earth, enjoying a fulfilling, safe, and autonomous life in your very own way. Number 3, the city of Galway. As you continue moving west, leaving the majestic cliffs behind you, we'll reach a place that is not just a destination on a map. Galway is not just a city. It is truly an ideology, a way of life that you have probably been searching for your whole life without even knowing it. The moment you step onto the cobblestone streets of the downtown area, a completely different vibe will surround you. At every corner, every intersection, you are welcomed by music. Street performers passionately play the guitar, play the fiddle, or beat lively rhythms on traditional drums. Music in Galway is not something performed to make money. It is the breath, the language of communication of the people here. Art overflows everywhere, from brightly colored walls to flower-filled windows of cute little cafes. The pace of life in Galway is so slow that you can feel time standing still. No one rushes past each other. No one is glued to their phone screen while walking. People are truly present, enjoying every rare ray of sunshine and every moment of being alive. That atmosphere seeps into every cell, making you automatically walk slower, breathe deeper, and completely remove all the defensive armor you have worn for so many years. And this is exactly why in 2026, Galway has become the epicenter of a massive exodus. Thousands of remote workers, digital nomads from all over the United States, are flocking here, creating a wave of migration in search of what they call a soft and fulfilling life. Let us do a very practical economic math to understand why this exodus is happening so strongly. Imagine the huge amount of money you are paying every month for a cramped, dark room in New York or a suffocating apartment in Los Angeles, where even breathing seems to be charged. With that same amount of money, or even much less in Galway, you can rent a cozy little apartment with large windows looking straight out to the deep blue bay. Every morning, you will wake up to the sound of seagulls calling and the cool breath of the ocean blowing right into your bed. You have an ideal workspace with completely superior high-speed internet connection, but surrounded by pristine and peaceful nature. The feeling of absolute safety is something you cannot buy with money in many big cities, but here it is a default. You can leisurely stroll on the beach at midnight without constantly looking over your shoulder a priceless privilege that brings true freedom to your soul. But the difference does not stop at rent or safety. It lies in the quality of daily life, something that seems to have become a luxury item. In American metropolises. In Galway, you do not have to spend tons of money at expensive organic supermarkets to get a clean meal. The food here comes straight from local farms, just a few miles from where you live. Freshly baked artisan bread, fresh butter milked that day, and batches of seafood just caught from the ocean. You are paying a third of the price, but enjoying a quality of life 10 times higher. The Americans who came here initially only intended to stay for a few weeks, but then they quickly realized that the constant stress, the headaches from inflation, and the fierce competitive pressure had completely disappeared. They found a friendly community neighbors who are always ready to bake an extra cake to share, and relaxing evenings, sipping a glass of wine without worrying about tomorrow. A non-judgmental living environment where cultural diversity is cherished and you are free to be yourself, blending into the peaceful local rhythm. Life in Galway teaches us a profound lesson that success does not necessarily have to come with exhaustion. You can absolutely work effectively, develop your career, while still having time to watch a sunset stroll along the beach and nourish your soul with art and music. This huge gap between the cost and the value received creates an invisible but extremely powerful motivation. It makes you start asking yourself why you should return to a place that always drains your energy. When here you are respected, you can breathe and you can truly live. When you sit in a small cafe in Galway, take a sip of hot tea, and look out at the vast ocean calculating the meager living expenses for the past wonderful month, you will understand the feelings of thousands of people who came before. That is the moment a bold but completely logical thought flashes through your head. You want to tear up that return flight ticket, want to call your landlord in the US to cancel your lease and start a new chapter of your life on this Emerald Island, where a soft life is no longer a distant dream, but a reality you are holding right in the palm of your hand. Number 4. The Aran Islands. Leaving behind the noisy rhythm of the mainland and stepping onto a ferry gliding across the white-crested waves of the Atlantic Ocean, you are embarking on a spectacular journey to turn back the clock. When the bow of the ferry touches the tiny harbor of the Aran Islands, a gentle but profoundly deep time shock will envelop your mind. This is not a resort artificially built to please tourists, but a final fortress of the ancient world. This is one of the few remaining places on Earth where indigenous people still communicate with each other daily in ancient Gaelic, a language that carries the echoes of epic tales from ancient times. Imagine standing in the middle of a pristine land where the landscape is not slashed by concrete highways or industrial zones springing up like mushrooms. Instead, the entire island is divided into a giant maze by thousands of miles of hand-stacked stone walls. These walls are completely dry, without a single drop of mortar to bind them. Yet they have stood firmly there for centuries, resiliently withstanding the most brutal storms of the ocean. They are living proof of the fierce vitality and resilient will of the people who have clung to this harsh land. But what truly makes the Aran Islands a paradise of escape for the free souls of 2026 is the complete absence of engine noise and car exhaust. Here, the pace of life is not measured by the speed of supercars or rushed subway trains. Your only and also your absolute best transportation option is to rent a bicycle and leisurely pedal along the narrow, winding dirt trails, hugging the edge of the sea cliffs. The feeling of every gust of wind carrying the salty taste of ocean salt blowing through your hair, while before your eyes is a vast unlimited open space, will bring an absolute freedom that you can hardly find in the city. There are no blaring car horns, No pressure to be on time. Just the rhythmic sound of waves crashing against the cliffs, the cries of flocks of seagulls, and the steady sound of your bicycle chain. You will pedal past ancient stone forts, perched precariously on the edge of the world, looking down at the churning waters below. Every turn of the pedal takes you further away from the endless notifications on your smartphone, and deeper into a state of profound mindfulness. It is a physical journey that actively detoxifies your brain from the relentless digital overload that defines our modern existence. However, there is a vital survival rule that every smart traveler must memorize when coming here. Never let the poetic, peaceful beauty of the island fool you, because Mother Nature in Iran has a highly furious and erratic temperament. The most practical advice for you is to put away those stylish woolen coats and always carry a high-quality Gore-Tex windbreaker jacket. On this bare island in the middle of the ocean, the weather can change dizzily, and you will fully experience all four seasons within a single short hour. You might be leisurely cycling under the brilliant sunshine and blue sky, but just 10 minutes later, a freezing downpour accompanied by strong gusts of wind from the sea will sweep in and blow everything away. Preparing a perfect protective layer not only helps you survive the harsh weather, but is also a way for you to truly respect and harmonize with the original wildness of this land. When you are properly dressed for the elements, the pouring rain no longer feels like an inconvenience, but rather a deeply purifying baptism by nature. You learn to embrace the unpredictability rather than trying to control it, which is a vital lesson for anyone seeking a more peaceful existence. Rising above all the overwhelming visual experiences, the absolute silence on the Aran Islands is the most powerful healing medicine. For Americans who are struggling under the exhaustion of inflation, expensive living costs, and the unnamed pressures of suffocating urban areas, this place offers a perfect escape. When you stop your bicycle, sit alone on a mossy rock by the cliff, and look out at the endless dark ocean, all worries about unpaid bills or fierce workplace competition are blown away by the sea breeze. You begin to realize that the desire for a soft life does not mean letting go or failing, but choosing an environment where your mind is allowed to rest. You do not need luxurious, chaotic amenities, just a peaceful space, a pristine atmosphere, and a feeling of absolute safety. In 2026, true luxury is no longer defined by designer labels or exclusive club memberships. True luxury is having the time and the space to hear your own thoughts. It is the ability to breathe deeply without feeling the weight of the world crushing your chest. This island offers a profound realization that you do not have to participate in the endless rat race to be happy. The Aran Islands do not promise you material wealth, but they give you a priceless privilege, which is the opportunity to completely disconnect from the noisy world, to truly listen to the heartbeat inside your chest, and return to the most core values of life. Number 5. The Dingle Peninsula. Leaving the pristine Aran Islands, we return to the mainland and head southwest to enter one of the most spectacular routes on the entire Dingle Peninsula. Here, Mother Nature did not hesitate to swing her wildest brushstrokes to create a landscape painting so surreal that it was chosen as the backdrop for the epic films of the Star Wars universe. Prepare yourself for an expedition along Slee Head Drive, a fragile ribbon of silk winding and hugging the precarious cliffs where the land drops straight down into the abyss. As you hold the steering wheel gliding through sharp curves on one side are endless lush green pastures with flocks of sheep leisurely grazing, and on the other side is the deep ocean churning with white crested waves crashing into the marble cliffs. This majestic scene makes you feel like you are driving at the very edge of the world, where all limits of space and time are erased. The feeling of adventure fills every breath, awakening all senses, and igniting a fierce flame of freedom in the souls of travelers longing to escape the suffocation of megacities. But to truly fully enjoy the trip on this legendary road, without turning it into a nightmare of extreme stress, you must master some extremely practical survival rules. The first and most important thing you must engrave in your mind is that in Ireland, you will have to drive on the left side of the road. For most American tourists, this is already a significant psychological challenge. But things will become exponentially more tense when you realize that the cliff roads in Dingle are unbelievably narrow. There are sections of road just wide enough for exactly one car to pass through, while on one side is a vertical cliff, and on the other is a deep abyss without any solid protective barriers. For this reason, here is a vital practical warning that you absolutely must not ignore. When you arrive at the car rental counter at the airport, immediately discard your habit of preferring the familiar large vehicles back home. Never rent a giant sport utility vehicle or a bulky pickup truck. Rent the most compact car possible. A small car will be your greatest savior, helping you easily navigate through narrow hairpin turns and dodge oncoming traffic without breaking a sweat. The safety and flexibility of a compact car will give you the confidence to truly relax and enjoy the scenery instead of having to strain your eyes in fear of your car getting scratched, or worse, slipping off the precarious edge. Besides, there is a very interesting but also very strict unspoken rule that you must follow when driving in Dingle. No matter how much of a hurry you are in, or how expensive the car you are sitting in is here, you are not the supreme ruler of the streets. The true owners of these roads, the fluffy flocks of sheep leisurely taking a stroll. There will be countless times you will have to brake suddenly and patiently, wait for a whole flock of dozens of sheep to slowly cross the road without any intention of making way for anyone. Do not honk loudly. Do not try to squeeze past them aggressively. Roll down your car window. Breathe in the fresh air. Smile and accept this slow rhythm as an essential part of the original experience. That is the true spirit of a soft life, where you learn to let go of control, lower your ego, and respect the natural rhythm of the world around you. When you can do that, Slia Head Drive will not just be a regular tourist route, but it will become a mind-purifying journey, helping you find the perfect balance between human beings and the great natural world. Number 6. Killarney National Park and the Ring of Kerry. Leaving behind the precarious cliffs of the Dingle Peninsula, we will venture deep into the deep green heart of southwest Ireland. Here, Mother Nature has hidden one of the most pristine and spectacular ecosystems in all of Europe. When you set foot in Killarney National Park, you are not just stepping into an ordinary forest. You are truly stepping through a time portal to return to an original world that has never been destroyed by human hands. Close your eyes and imagine a vast, immense space where 3 giant lakes lie peacefully like still crystal mirrors, perfectly reflecting the grandeur of the McGillicuddy Reeks mountain range, towering up to the gray clouds of the North Atlantic. The scenery here carries a mystical and quiet beauty, so profound that you could easily believe the legends of ancient Celtic gods dwelling in the deep forest are entirely real. The fresh, moist air carries the earthy scent of moss, of damp soil, and of endless carpets of ancient ferns stretching endlessly beneath the canopies of centuries-old oak trees. Every breath you take in this ancient forest feels like a direct rebellion against the polluted air of concrete jungles back home. You begin to shed the layers of anxiety that have built up from years of corporate ladders and endless daily commutes, This is also the exclusive reigning kingdom of the wild native red deer, proud and magnificent creatures that have roamed this land since the last ice age. When you calmly walk on the morning mist-filled trails far away from all the noise of the modern world, you might be lucky enough to catch the sight of a giant stag with massive antlers, standing proudly on a rocky outcrop, stretching its neck to send a mating call echoing throughout the foggy valley. That is a magical moment, a priceless primitive connection that makes you realize this world still has breathtakingly beautiful wild corners that have not been conquered by us. For souls seeking healing from the exhausting, fast-paced life in glamorous megacities, the presence of untouched nature at Killarney is a perfect antidote. It soothes extreme nervous tensions, brings absolute peace to the mind, and reminds us of the pristine beauty of a life unbound by endless work pressures. It is a powerful reminder that you do not need to constantly hustle to feel alive. However, right next to this quiet wonder is one of the most iconic and also the most crowded tourist routes in all of Ireland: the legendary Ring of Kerry. This 179-kilometer route winds through the most spectacular coastal landscapes, mossy ancient castles, and precarious cliffs dropping straight into the deep abyss. The fame of the Ring of Kerry is entirely well-deserved because of its overwhelming beauty, but it also comes with a very expensive price, which is the presence of hundreds of giant tour buses pouring in here every single day. If you are an inexperienced traveler and just drive along with the crowd following the usual guidelines, you will quickly realize your dream expedition has turned into a stressful nightmare. You will be stuck for hours behind a bus, spewing thick smoke, unable to pass, unable to stop at the beautiful viewpoints, and your majestic vision will be completely blocked by a giant metal wall. That feeling of being cramped and helpless goes completely against the desire to find freedom of modern travelers. You did not fly across the Atlantic Ocean to be trapped in traffic. But do not worry, because here is the most valuable survival secret, a smart and highly tactical way to play that will completely change the dynamic of your trip. While all the tour companies and those giant buses are forced to move clockwise starting from Killarney because the curves on the road are too narrow to allow two large vehicles to pass each other, you as a free traveler in your compact car should do the exact opposite. Set off very early when the sun has just risen and firmly drive counterclockwise. By executing this simple but sharp tactic, you will completely master this legendary route. Throughout the first half of the day, you will get to enjoy the entire wide-open road all to yourself, with the vast ocean on one side and majestic mountains on the other, without being hindered by any giant vehicles. There is no urgent honking, no pushing and shoving at the rest stops. When you encounter the convoys of buses heading the opposite direction in the afternoon, you simply glide past them slowly with a satisfied smile, while they have to inch forward, centimeter by centimeter, in exhaustion and frustration. That is the art of traveling smartly and practically in 2026. You do not need to avoid breathtaking famous landmarks. You just need to know how to approach them more wisely than the rest of the crowd. Fully enjoying the grandeur of the Ring of Kerry without being swallowed by the masses brings you a deeply satisfying sense of victory. You master your time, master your space, and enjoy a fully free life where you can stop at any pristine beach, turn off your car engine, and fill your lungs with the salty taste of the sea. In that moment, you will realize that setting your own rules for your life and escaping the suffocating paths is completely within your reach, as long as you are brave enough to go against the flow of the majority. Driving along the Ring of Kerry on your own terms is the ultimate expression of the soft life you have been seeking. You are no longer a passive passenger in your own existence, but the driver of your own destiny, choosing peace over chaos and freedom over conformity. Number 7. Blarney Castle. Leaving the magnificent wild nature of the West, we will change our journey's direction heading south to enter one of the most famous and also most controversial historical sites of the entire country of Ireland. Standing proudly in County Cork, the ancient Blarney Castle rises among lush green gardens, keeping a legend that has attracted millions of travelers from all over the world for hundreds of years. That is the legendary Blarney Stone. Ancient legends say that anyone brave enough to climb to the top of the castle tower, lean backwards over a precarious gap, and place a reverent kiss on this magical stone will immediately be gifted a priceless ability. That is the gift of eloquence, the ultimate charm in words, to be able to persuade and conquer anyone's heart. For American tourists looking for luck or simply wanting to experience a local ritual, the appeal of possessing such a mystical gift is indeed an extremely hard temptation to resist. However, as we enter the era of 2026, the standards of travel and practical experiences have completely and profoundly changed. And this is the moment we need to frankly expose a naked truth about the most spectacular scam of the tourism industry on this island. To get that divine kiss, you will have to trade at a very expensive price, not only your limited vacation time, but also your own comfort. The truth is, you will have to stand stuck in an exhausting line for 2 to 3 consecutive hours, inching every heavy step on a narrow, dark, and suffocating stone spiral staircase, filled with thousands of other strangers sharing the same goal. And when you finally reach the top of the tower, completely drained of energy, you will face a reality much less romantic than the rumors. You will have to lie on your back, hold tightly, to iron bars, hang upside down into a dangerous gap, with the pulling help of a guardian, just to stretch your lips and kiss a cold stone surface. But the most terrifying thing that will make you shudder is that the stone has been kissed by millions of lips of strangers from every continent in the world. In the context of the modern world, having learned profound lessons about pandemics where health and safety awareness is always the top priority, putting your lips on such a public surface is truly a terrifying bacteriological nightmare. The chance of you bringing home a flu or a lingering cough is certainly 100 times higher than you suddenly turning into an outstanding orator with the talent to persuade crowds. So how will smart travelers, those looking for a soft and practical life this year, solve this problem? The golden survival advice for you is to bravely turn your back on that endless line. Never waste a precious afternoon of your escape vacation just in exchange for a forced selfie at the top of the tower. Blarney Castle is not boring. It still has other, much more wonderful treasures patiently waiting for you to discover without demanding you to wait in line or recklessly gamble with your precious immune system. Instead of following the crowd squeezing up the tower, take a leisurely stroll down the vast grounds and find your way into an extremely mysterious hidden corner that is rarely promoted but is exponentially more fascinating, called the Poison Garden. Tucked away and delicately hidden amidst the romantic beauty of flora, this garden is a mesmerizing dark world that extremely stimulates the curiosity of adventurous souls. Completely different from ordinary vibrant rose or daisy gardens, every plant painstakingly sown and cared for here carries deadly toxicity. Walking under the gloomy canopy, you will see with your own eyes the legendary plants that once appeared in dark magic stories, in detective novels, or horrifying medieval poison remedies. From the highly toxic climbing lily with its fragile beauty, the powerful hallucinogenic mandrake, to the vibrant wolfsbane carrying a kiss of death. Many plants here are so dangerous that they must be isolated and carefully locked inside sturdy black iron cages, accompanied by strict warning signs absolutely forbidding tourists to touch wreath too closely or even smell them. Leisurely exploring this strange and eerie poison garden not only brings you an exhilarating, thrilling sense of adventure, but also helps you completely avoid the suffocation of mass tourist crowds. It perfectly fulfills the modern traveler's desire to seek unique, original, and culturally deep experiences. You can still fully enjoy the majestic ancient beauty of Blarney Castle, still freely breathe the hundreds of years old historical atmosphere, but you do it in a smarter, more refined, and certainly much cleaner and safer way. That is the true core of a real escape, where you absolutely do not let tourist traps define your experience. But you are the master, making wise choices to enjoy the world in the most distinct way. Number 8, the Giant's Causeway. Leaving the ancient castles of the south, we will take a long journey straight north, crossing an almost invisible border to officially set foot in the territory of Northern Ireland. Here, bordered by the churning seas and thick fog, is one of the most unique and spectacular geological wonders in the entire world, called the Giant's Causeway. When you stand on the coast and cast your eyes downward, you will immediately be overwhelmed by an incredibly surreal scene. Over 40,000 massive pitch-black basalt columns with perfect hexagonal shapes interlock and stack upon each other so precisely that they form giant stone steps leading straight from the cliff down into the foggy ocean. The perfection of these geometric rocks makes it easy to understand why ancient legends say this is the remnant of a great bridge hand carved and built by a giant to cross the sea and challenge his enemy. But behind that colorful mythological story, the geological truth carries an equally brutal and magnificent power. About 60 million years ago, this area was the epicenter of violent volcanic eruptions. Boiling molten lava surged from the depths of the earth, but was immediately and suddenly cooled by the freezing waters of the North Atlantic Ocean. This extremely rapid cooling and shrinking process caused the rock mass to fracture, creating perfectly hexagonal columns as if cast from a single mold of nature. Standing before this wonder, you truly feel the great tectonic power of the earth, where fire and water once fiercely clashed to sculpt an eternal masterpiece. But as you prepare to plan your expedition to this mythical land, there are extremely important survival rules regarding finances and logistics that you must remember. The first thing that often leaves many American tourists shocked and confused is the sudden change in currency. Remember that you have left the Republic of Ireland, which uses the euro, and you have entered Northern Ireland, a part of the United Kingdom. That means here, all transactions use the British pound. The golden advice for you is do not carry a useless stack of euro cash, nor let yourself be deducted exorbitant foreign exchange fees every time you swipe your card. Make absolutely sure you have prepared a no foreign transaction fee credit card before starting your trip. This is your most powerful weapon to protect your wallet and maintain a smooth, soft life escape without being entangled in petty financial troubles. The second thing, and also the smartest tactic to avoid becoming a victim of the mass tourism industry, is to be careful with the main visitor center area. Many people, when arriving here, are herded into a glamorous building and obediently spend an expensive amount of money to buy a sightseeing ticket. The naked truth is that you are absolutely not required to buy that ticket. This natural wonder is a heritage of humanity, and walking down to the stone columns area is completely free for everyone. Instead of lining up to pay at the visitor center, you simply need to park your car in the outer area or catch a local bus, and then leisurely walk along the small trail hugging the hillside straight down to the beach. By doing this, you not only save a significant amount of money, but also get to enjoy a feeling of absolute freedom, exploring every corner of this wonder at your own pace. You can comfortably climb on the steps of the giant, listen to the whispering waves, and fill your lungs with the salty taste of the sea. You are no longer treated as just another walking wallet in a tourist trap, but as a true explorer. That is the way to enjoy the most authentic trip, where you completely master every decision and experience the world in the smartest way possible. Number 9. Glendalough Valley. Leaving behind the rugged, windy coasts of the north, we will head east to go deep into the mystical Wicklow Mountains. Here lies hidden one of the most quiet and secluded sanctuaries of this entire Emerald Island. When you set foot in the Glendalough Valley, you are not just stepping into an ordinary historical site, but you are truly entering a sacred realm, a safe haven that has existed since the 6th century. The settlement of these ancient ascetic monks is perfectly nestled and embraced between two deep, ink-black lakes. Surrounded by steep mountain slopes and dense pine forests where fog hangs over the water year-round, creating a mystical scene so profound that you can almost hear the echoes of time. Standing before the great silence of this valley, all the noisy sounds of the modern world seem to be completely swallowed up, making way for an absolute stillness that penetrates deep into every corner of the soul. But what makes Glendalough a priceless treasure for the travelers of 2026 lies in an extremely special truth. As you go deeper into the valley, the cell signal bars on your mobile device will gradually drop and eventually disappear completely. For some people, this might initially create a bit of extreme panic, but for those who are making a true escape to find healing, this is the greatest gift from Mother Nature. No cell phone signal means no mabed firework. Notifications ringing, no urgent emails from your boss surrounding you, and no negative news feeds draining your mind every single day. This absolute disconnection is the most perfect mental therapy for the Exodus mindset, wanting to shed all the invisible pressures weighing on the shoulders of an exhausted working generation. It forces you to lift your head up, take your eyes off the lifeless screens, to truly be present in the real space, watching the slow movement of the clouds and listening to the rustling wind through the pine needles. You will realize that temporarily disappearing from the digital world does not make you lose any value, but on the contrary, it returns to you the absolute freedom, the mastery of your mind that you have lost for so long amidst the bustling metropolitan cities. To truly fully experience the greatness and sacredness of this valley, there is a game-changing travel rule that you must absolutely carve into your heart. The vast majority of tourists, when arriving here, only leisurely stroll around the ancient cemetery area, look at the mossy stone-round towers, take a few souvenir photos, and then hurriedly return to their cramped buses. If you do the same, you have permanently missed the true soul of Glendalough. The most practical and valuable advice exclusively for you is to prepare a sturdy pair of hiking boots, bring a bottle of water, and bravely step onto the spectacular path called the Spink Trail. This is no small physical challenge, requiring you to exert yourself climbing hundreds of steep wooden steps, hugging the treacherous mountain slopes, perched high above. But the priceless reward waiting for you at the top of the mountain is a spectacular visual experience far beyond your wildest imagination. When you stand precariously on the sharp cliffs of the Spine's Peak, looking down at the entire giant U-shaped valley, carved by the Ice Age millions of years ago, the sight of the two still lakes lying peacefully reflecting the gray sky will make you hold your breath in awe. From this height, all the ancient ruins and the noisy crowds of tourists below shrink into meaningless tiny dots. The glorious feeling of standing tall on top of the world, filling your lungs with the freezing and extremely pure high-altitude air, will immediately wash away all the residue of the suffocating urban pressures that have gripped you for so long. The perfect combination of building physical endurance, fully immersing yourself in majestic nature, and the absolute disconnection from the digital world creates an extremely profound healing effect for your mental health. That is the magical moment when you awaken to the true meaning of a soft and fulfilling life. It is not found in heavily advertised expensive luxury resorts. but it exists right in the moments you stand proudly amidst the great wild earth and sky, shedding all worldly sorrows and finding the most pristine, quiet peace hidden deep inside your own heart. Number 10, the Skellig Islands, also known as Skellig Michael. To perfectly close this epic anthem of escape, we will cast our eyes far to the southwest coast, where the Atlantic Ocean roars the fiercest, to reach the ultimate destination of the entire journey. Rising majestically from the deep black ocean floor, like a giant sword of the gods slashing the gray sky. This sharp rock peak is the most isolated and also the greatest remnant of the ancient world. This is not just an ordinary island, it is an impenetrable fortress of Mother Nature, where ascetic monks from the 6th century chose as a retreat, seeking an absolute connection with the Supreme Being amidst endless raging waves. As your tiny boat cuts through the waves approaching the island, through the thick layers of fog, the overwhelming feeling of the majesty and brutality of creation will weigh heavily on your chest. You will wonder how humans could survive in such a harsh place. Currently, to protect the priceless and extremely fragile ecosystem, and especially thousands of beautiful little creatures named puffins nesting on the cliffs, the government only allows an extremely small number of tourists to set foot on the island each day. This strict limitation makes Skellig Michael one of the most exclusive, pristine, and untouchable destinations in the entire world, far beyond any luxury resort for the ultra-rich. But behind the surreal beauty that once served as the backdrop for blockbuster Hollywood films is a brutal truth that you must face if you want to conquer this place. The journey to Skellig Michael is absolutely not a leisurely sightseeing stroll on a calm Sunday. First, to secure a spot on the brave little speedboats heading to the island, you have to engage in a real battle to book at least 6 months in advance. And even when you firmly hold the ticket in your hand, everything still completely depends on the ruthless judgment of Mother Nature. Just a sudden hurricane striking, or white-crested waves rising higher than allowed, all ferry trips will be canceled immediately without any negotiation or exception. You might have flown halfway across the earth from the east coast of the United States, waited half a year, spent thousands of dollars, but still have to stand on the shore and helplessly watch the island swallowed by the thick fog. That is the first and most profound lesson in humility. When you stand before the greatness of the vast ocean, learning to let go of the modern human desire to control everything. And if you are truly lucky enough to be smiled upon by Mother Nature and allowed to dock, the most terrifying physical and mental challenge officially begins. Before your eyes are 618 precarious stone steps, as steep as a staircase, straight up to the blue sky. These stone steps were carved entirely by the bare hands of monks over 1,000 years ago, rugged and slippery with moss and salty seawater. There are absolutely no safety handrails. No ropes to cling to. On one side is a vertical slate cliff, and on the other is a deep abyss, dropping straight down to the furious roaring waves, crashing into white foam, embracing the base of the island. Every inch you step up demands the ultimate high concentration, an iron will, and a true courage coming from within. The sea wind howls in your ears, biting into your flesh, sweat soaking your forehead, your thigh muscles trembling. But when you step up to the final stair, touching the quiet, ancient beehive-shaped stone huts, the reward for you is a feeling of ultimate glory that cannot be described by any words. You are standing at the end of the world, completely isolated, proud, and supremely free. This is no longer an ordinary tourist trip. This is a great pilgrimage, a harsh test to wash away all the sorrows of the soul and prove the extraordinary power hidden deep inside you. As we slowly close this great epic journey along this Emerald Island, you will realize an extremely profound and poignant truth. Ireland never tries to extort or seduce you with flashy luxury goods, expensive soulless resorts, or glossy but empty five-star services. This magical country conquers the hearts of weary travelers with its very own rough and most genuine authenticity. It soothes your scratched soul with the vast fury of the precarious cliffs, warms your freezing body with bitter but deeply heartwarming glasses of Guinness at a nameless little corner pub. And above all, it embraces you with the unconditional welcoming smiles of the straightforward and hospitable local people. For those who are desperately seeking an escape from the exhausting pressures of inflation and brutal competition, in 2026, Ireland is not just a tourist destination. It is an ideology, a peaceful haven, a living proof that a soft and fulfilling life still always exists, waiting for you to be brave enough to turn to a new direction. If you are truly ready to pack your luggage and tear down the invisible barriers imprisoning you to start your own perfect escape hit, like on this video, to spread the spirit of freedom. And if your heart craving for adventure is still not completely satisfied, if you are curious to know which land in Europe possesses equally furious and wild scenery with giant glaciers and endless boiling lava, click right on our video about the ice island of Iceland appearing on the screen right now. See you again in the next spectacular, epic journeys. As you sit on the plane heading back across the Atlantic Ocean, watching the Emerald Island fade into the clouds below, a profound sense of transformation washes over you. You are no longer the same exhausted person who boarded the flight to Dublin just a few weeks ago. The cold winds of the cliffs of Moher, the ancient silence of Glendalough, and the fierce waves of Skellig Michael have stripped away the heavy layers of stress and anxiety you carried from the corporate world. You look out the airplane window and deeply think about the life waiting for you back in the United States. You picture the endless traffic jams on the gray highways, the towering glass skyscrapers that block out the natural sun, and the relentless pressure to climb a corporate ladder that never seems to reach the top. For the very first time in your life, that familiar American reality feels strangely alien and completely unnecessary. You begin to realize that the definition of success you were taught since childhood might actually be a well-disguised trap, designed to keep you running endlessly on a treadmill of mindless consumption and emotional burnout. Ireland has gently shown you a different path, a radical alternative that feels deeply authentic and incredibly liberating for your soul. In the year 2026, we are witnessing a massive awakening among professionals across America. The skyrocketing cost of everyday living, the crushing weight of relentless inflation, and the highly toxic hustle culture have pushed an entire generation to their absolute breaking point. People are waking up every morning in their overwhelmingly expensive but tiny apartments in New York or San Francisco and genuinely asking themselves what they are actually working so hard for. When modern technology allows you to work remotely from anywhere in the world, why would you choose to suffer in a suffocating concrete jungle, where even breathing clean air feels like a luxury you can't afford? This is exactly why the great exodus is happening right now in front of our eyes. It is not just about finding a cheaper place to exist. It is about radically reclaiming your sanity and taking back your most valuable asset, which is your fleeting time on this earth. Ireland represents the ultimate sanctuary for this bold new wave of digital nomads and remote workers. It offers a soft life where your human worth is not measured by your impressive job title or the expensive brand of your car, but by your character and your capacity to quietly enjoy the simple, profound moments of existence. The economic math is simple, but the emotional payoff is truly infinite. You are effectively trading a life of constant anxiety and artificial deadlines for a life of quiet confidence and real human connection. What makes this rainy island truly magnetic is not just its dramatic, rugged landscapes, but the deeply ingrained culture of genuine human warmth. When you walk out of the cold rain and step into a dimly lit pub in Galway or Dingle, smelling the comforting scent of a burning peat fire, you are not treated as just another paying customer. You instantly become an equal participant in a centuries-old tradition of storytelling and shared humanity. The locals sitting next to you do not care about your impressive resume, your LinkedIn profile, or your investment portfolio. They only care if you can appreciate a clever joke, if you can listen to a melancholic fiddle tune with an open heart, and if you are willing to share a pint of dark, bitter stout while the storm hammers against the glass window pane. This radical, unconditional acceptance is the most powerful antidote to the extreme loneliness and silent isolation that heavily plagues modern American society. In Ireland, you are finally allowed to just be human, with all your beautiful flaws and unspoken uncertainties. You slowly learn to pace yourself and match the natural rhythm of the changing ocean tides and the rolling green hills. You discover that a life well lived is not a frantic race to accumulate material wealth, but a slow, steady walk through meaningful experiences. So the ultimate question you must bravely ask yourself as the plane wheels harshly touch down on American soil is whether you have the courage to make a permanent life change. Will you passively go back to your gray cubicle under the fluorescent lights and let this epic Irish journey fade into just another nice vacation memory? Or will you let it be the powerful catalyst that completely rewrites the rest of your story? The soft life is not a fictional fantasy reserved for the privileged few. It is a deliberate daily choice that requires bravery and a strong willingness to step entirely off the beaten path. You have the absolute power to tear up the conventional script society handed to you at birth. You can pack your bags, cancel your expensive lease, and buy a one-way ticket right back to the Emerald Isle, where the air is pure. The local communities are real, and the vast landscape demands absolutely nothing from you except your quiet presence. This is the ultimate peaceful rebellion against a noisy world that constantly demands your total exhaustion. As we finally close the book on this spectacular Irish odyssey, we want to remind you that the world is way too vast and your time is way too short to spend it trapped in a life you do not passionately love. If this cinematic journey has ignited a wild fire in your soul and inspired you to fiercely dream of a better, softer way of living, hit that like button to officially join our growing global community of modern explorers. Share this powerful message with someone who desperately needs an escape from their daily grinding routine. But do not unpack your travel bags just yet, because our epic global exodus has only just begun. If you think the dramatic green cliffs of Ireland were breathtaking, just wait until you see the furious, boiling landscapes and the massive ancient blue glaciers of our very next destination. Click right now on the video appearing on your screen to join us on a mind-blowing expedition to the wild and untamed ice island of Iceland. The magnificent adventure of a lifetime is patiently waiting for you. So do not hesitate, and let us keep running toward true freedom together.